We are back with the Rampage preview for tonight's edition of AEW Rampage on TNT. As I always say, if you're looking for wrestling to watch tonight, you will not have to look that far because from 8 o'clock till 11 o'clock, there is wrestling on television with AEW and WWE both having their broadcast on tonight. Matt Menard and Angelo Parker speak after the actions of the JAS last week, attacking the former tag team champions, The Acclaimed. And also FTR speak tonight after their victory against the Guns a couple of weeks ago on Dynamite. Or last week on Dynamite, I do apologize. Last week on Dynamite. You have to wonder, maybe they're looking for new challengers. You gotta wonder what's going to happen. But either way, it is good to see FTR back on AEW. Also tonight, an 8-man tag team match. Mark Briscoe, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh against to be announced in an 8-man tag match. I'm surprised that I understand the relationship Mark and Jay Lethal have. It's just surprising that you would pair up Mark Briscoe with 3 heels. Even if one of them is a close personal friend. Taya Valkyrie is back in action as she continues her pursuit up the card to Jade Cargill and the TBS Championship as she is challenged by Emi Sakura tonight on Rampage. It feels like it's been a while since we've seen Emi Sakura in action, so it is good to see Emi back on AEW programming. And speaking of people we haven't seen for a while, Shawn Spears is back on AEW programming. And he's up against Jungle Boy Jack Perry. Shawn Spears recently spoke on an episode of Dynamite about the possibility of going against his former stablemate, his former running buddy in MJF. And proving a point to MJF, who broke up the faction that made Shawn Spears one of the most important people in AEW. But that he has to get through Jack Perry tonight to be able to get to MJF. Good luck to Shawn Spears tonight. It's good to see him back, but I don't think he has any hope of getting past Jungle Boy. And speaking of people we haven't seen for a bit, Aussie Open, that is me being sarcastic. Aussie Open is in action defending their newly minted IWGP World Tag Team titles, which they won last week at Sakura Genesis. Again, and they will defend it tonight against the Best Friends. Aussie Open from WrestleMania weekend until the following weekend after. So all throughout WrestleMania week, Aussie Open challenged for 3 World Tag Team titles respectively. Those being the Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling, and as well the IWGP. I said it when I reviewed Sakura Genesis on April 8th that I would love to see Aussie Open win one of the belts, and lo and behold, they won the IWGP Tag Team titles. So props to them for winning the IWGP Tag Team titles, and now they are on a Rampage defending the belts against the Best Friends. Honestly, if there's any tag team in AEW that could spontaneously challenge for the IWGP World Tag Team titles, it is the Best Friends, as both men have a history in Japan. Those being Chucky T and Trent. And Trent has a history in Japan as being a former tag team champion with Rocky Romero in Japan. So he's got a long history back in Japan. You know, he's got a long history in Japan, so props to AEW props to New Japan putting the belts on Aussie Open, who I do believe were free agents if you go back a couple months. But also, it looks like a very spectacular episode of Rampage tonight. And maybe they're starting to plant the building blocks for what we're going to see at Double or Nothing next month. As we spoke about this on Dynamite, with the possibility of a smattering of 8-man tag and multi-man matches set for Double or Nothing, with the multi-man feuds being very featured very prominently in AEW right now. It would be interesting to see what happens on that front when we get closer to the upcoming pay-per-view. I also do believe that next week on Dynamite there is a title match, and it is for the TNT Championship, as Wardlow gets his revenge, or looks for his revenge, against current champion Powerhouse Hobbs, and also current AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy is set to defend his International Championship against Gabriel Kidd at Collision in Philadelphia for New Japan. Once again, it is Aussie Open defending the IWGP Tag Team titles against the Best Friends, Jack Perry against Shawn Spears, Taya Valkyrie against Emi Sakura, an 8-person tag team match, Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and Mark Briscoe against To Be Determined. And as well, FTR and Matt Menard and Angelo Parker will let their voices be heard tonight on Rampage. And as I normally say, if you have nothing to do tonight and you're looking for wrestling to watch, there is no better way to find wrestling, or there's no better time to find wrestling than on a Friday when you have SmackDown starting at 8 o'clock, 8 till 10, and then right after, at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, it is AEW Rampage. With that being said, though, another preview is in the books, and I will see you in the next video.